What is up, gamers? Enforcer 5150 here, and we are back to go ahead and do some benchmarking on Call of Duty Vanguard. And I just wanted to see that it doesn't have its own benchmark. I wanted to do some gameplay here and do some reviewing of it that way. We are on the MSI GF75 Thin, the 10 UEK 064. Yeah. And this is the 17.3 inch monitor on it, and it is running with the RTX 3060 with the i7-10750H, and it's only a 2.6 gigahertz. As you see it go down there, and it will obviously boost. We do have the boost clocks on in this laptop because MSI has it, but as you can see, we are running between 80, you see my lowest is 81 right there, so like 81 to around 90, 95 has been my most average. You get over 100 a bit, you see my average is 100 frames per second. It does do pretty good in this beginning spot. I wanted to do this beginning spot because there is a lot that is going on, you know, a lot of rain, there's a lot of shadows, a lot of lighting that's coming in. Even though that it's not using ray tracing, it still has a, you know, pretty big impact on your performance, and that's pretty good. But you know, let's go ahead and move on to the next section of the game, which is very dark, but there's a lot of open space, so you don't have as much light coming in. You do have a lot of sprites and all that, but you can see it definitely handles it a lot more. Right now we have everything at ultra, and we're using the balanced DLSS. I'm going to look more in. I'm going to show you more into the DLSS on each level, so you can kind of get an idea and, you know, understand more of what this laptop can actually do. Remember, like I said, a laptop is not a desktop replacement, but you know, it definitely can help us, you know, whenever we are on the road somewhere else, we can't take our desktop with us. It can, I mean, you can use it kind of as a desktop. I just don't really recommend it because you don't have the same amount of cooling, and if you're always running it, you can burn it out a lot faster. But as far as it being, you know, versatile, it's definitely up there. So you just want to take that, you know, however you want it. You know, it's kind of something that you have to look at in whatever your needs are. But as you can see here, we're getting 125 frames per second, 130, and you know, my average is 124. That's pretty dang good for this area. I mean, if you're just, you know, straight out gaming, that's amazing. That's, you know, that's, you want that. You know, you have a 144 hertz monitor on this thing when you're using it on the monitor, and it's pretty good. Anyway, we're gonna go to ultra performance here. I just wanted to show this section with it because there is a lot that goes on, and it definitely brings you down. I wanted to kind of give a little bit more of this. We're gonna do a side by side here in a minute, but I wanted to show this part because I can't stress this enough. There are spoilers in here. I mean, not like, you know, the talking part spoilers, but if you don't want any type of spoiler at all, I probably wouldn't watch these because you'll see some things that are going to happen. They're not major, but I just wanted to give that alert out there. Anyway, as you see, lots of, you know, stuff happens here, and this is, remember, this is on ultra performance, so this is the most that you can actually get with the laptop on ultra settings. Obviously, you can bring it down to you know, lower quality settings, or you can drop it down to 720p. Something like that, but we were staying at the normal 1080p because that's what this laptop is meant to do. And as you can see here, we do stay up a little bit, but you see that it dropped down to 92. And now when we get into these trenches, there's a lot of stuff that's up close, and you know, things flying around you, sprites, everything else that will definitely you know, affect your performance. And you can see, you know, it drops down around, you know, 100, 108. So you're getting pretty good. I wanted to do some multiplayer on this, but for some reason it was laggy as heck. If anybody's been playing multiplayer lately, you'll notice that with the new maps that came out, there is a tremendous amount of lag. But here we go to the next part. Now we're going to get up to where I did a lot of testing between. I went through this and died over and over again. This is the part where I was like, yeah, you're probably going to get a little bit of a spoiler here, so if you don't want any spoilers, just don't. And this, I don't know what they did with her freaking model, but that is awful. It freaks me out every time I see her. Anyway, this part where these planes come up and, you know, ransack, and you'll notice there's a ton of explosions and everything, and you'll see the FPS drop down. Right now it dropped down to 71, but what we're going to do is go ahead and take a look at all of them side by side. It took quite a bit to do, but you'll see I have ultra performance, performance balance, quality, and I have with DLSS completely off. And there is a lot to talk about here because there's not a big difference between the performance and balance, but if you wanted to get the maximum frames per second and quality out of it, I'd probably go with the performance out of any of them. Obviously quality is good. I've been running with the balance myself. Now here's a screen grab of all of them at the peak spot, so you can kind of see, you're looking at the performance being kind of the best one here. Performance and balance, as far as the quality look, it doesn't look that much different. So you could go to balance. That's what I play on most of the time. But off obviously is just not an option for me personally. I don't like going down to like under 60 frames per second, but I like staying around in the 90s. So either performance or balance, it is a pretty good spot, and there's not too much of a difference in the quality when you go between the two. And I did one of these last time too, where we kind of looked at all the different types. And I did it with Battlefield, I did it with earlier Call of Duty, but mostly in this one, quality is alright, but it does drop you down quite a bit. Now I also did this with the AMD's Fidelityfx, and I wanted to just kind of do it on balance for both of them and kind of give you a small comparison there. When you look at this one, you'll see that the quality is definitely different, and that's why I don't really like using the Fidelity, because if you look at the left side is Fidelityfx. It looks a little bit softer in the background, and you're getting more frames per second in the balance mode, but you're getting less quality, if you know what I mean. There's definitely a lot more quality in the right side where we're using NVIDIA's DLSS. Now this is just a quick freeze frame of this. You can kind of look at kind of what the quality looks like. I mean, for some people it is better, but I do want to also mention that when I started using the Fidelity, I did end up getting a crash from Call of Duty. It wanted me to scan and repair and all that. I didn't get that at all when I was using the DLSS, so I don't know if it is related. I couldn't find anything in the logs to support one end or the other, but it did only happen when I started using AMD's Fidelityfx. So I'm not going to say that is the absolute cause for it. It's just kind of concerning that that's only when it happened. I tried playing a bit after with the DLSS only, and then I tried with the Fidelityfx again later on, and it did crash again. So all I gotta say is everything points to that being an issue. I don't know if it's in the bug reports or not. So let's go on to our next part here. Now I'm going to go ahead and loop this a few times so you can kind of see the different quality settings. We are on balanced, and each one, I labeled the highest one wrong. It's actually ultra. So you have lowest, low, medium, and high, and then you have your ultra. I'll rename that. But anyway, you can see that you do get a lot more frames per second in your lowest, but the quality is really low. So if you're really trying to get over that 144 hertz that you can get with this monitor on this laptop, you definitely want to try to go with the lowest, or you can try doing a mixture of the low settings and then dropping down to like performance mode. But all in all, I mean, you take a look at these and they look all right, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at how much quality you're actually getting. Let's look at the flames there for each one of these. Now here you can go ahead and get a look at the quality difference up close. Obviously, the further away something is, a lot blurrier it's going to be, even with the DLSS being unbalanced. And if you bring up the quality a little bit, but if you see on the highest, that's not too bad. I'm quite impressed with the performance that Call of Duty came out with this year. There's other issues, obviously, but as far as DLSS and the performance in the single player and everything, it seems to be all right. So I don't know, take this how you want, but like I said, it's not fully a desktop type laptop. Any laptop that is a desktop replacement would be over $10,000, where this is, you know, in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, if you can get it at that price. And I know that they are not easy to come by right now. But I do have links in the description below if you are interested in finding one of these laptops. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Make sure to hit that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.